So the premiere was really good, but this episode felt like the lowest Kenobi and Book of Boba moments. It's still decent plot-wise, but for some reason it didn't hit for me. Maybe it was the kids acting, but Mother Anastasia was good, probably the best part of the episode.
I'll never see you again.
You won't. Fear should not make this decision, Osha. You should.
Oh, and Kilnaka, but that's probably not a good thing because he's basically reused Wookiee sound effects, which don't get me wrong, I love. He's cute and fuzzy and you just want to hug the Wookiee, but yeah, hearing the same Wookiee sound effects in KOTOR just kind of ingrained that in my head. Also, Torben is great. I like his actor just because he said he grew up playing Lego Star Wars.
I actually played the video games before I watched the movies. I was about 7 and I was playing a Star Wars Lego game, which I was,
His character oddly looks a lot like Frodo and Samwise combined. He'd be a great hobbit. It's okay, I think the next episode should be more action heavy story wise. There's some very interesting concepts shown here, which I think could explain how Rey defeated Palps in IX. The Force Ghosts stacked their power together to aid her. Perhaps that was obvious in the film, but I like that we get an explanation for it. I always wanted to see Force wielders that weren't Jedi, but I wanted something else besides witches. There's gotta be a group of Force wielders out there that aren't Jedi or witches, right? Like that guy from Rogue One? I'm assuming these are different to Night Sisters, or they are the precursors to Night Sisters? How did Mother Anastasia create the children? Did she plant a Force seed in the leader's womb, influencing the midichlorians like that theory where Palpatine created Anakin? Also, why did the Jedi accept taking older children in the first place? Weren't the prequel Jedi against training older kids because it's too dangerous? Maybe this show is a catalyst to that line of thinking. So, Mai has a mark and Osha didn't. How does that affect either of them? We didn't get to see why Mai is a selfish sister to Osha. This one is a 7 out of 10. The bad thing about these shows, and something that further causes more negativity in my opinion, is that they release in bits and allow for internet discourse, which, if the episodes were villain of the week anthology style, then it would make sense, but this doesn't allow people to properly digest the story because people are quick to judge, have very little patience. I really like that Netflix approach of releasing the first half, waiting a few months, releasing the second half. I think weekly only works with long form shows like The Flash or sitcoms that don't really have an overarching narrative in this style anyway, where it feels more like a longer movie than an episodic format. Episode 4. It's kind of strange to have May be very evil but have moments of goofy relatability. In contrast, it's strange to have moments of mania from Osha, like her screaming when she was left in a ship, waking up from nightmares, while believing she's the goody goody one. Also, the fact that it's a mystery. I don't know. I'm sure writing a very compelling story is already a feat, but a compelling mystery must be difficult, because I haven't seen really many good ones. Recommend me some good ones if you know them, because it's actually my favorite genre. Grew up on mystery books and love playing these types of games, so yeah. Anyway, this episode felt like watching an episode of Pair of Kings. The whole vibe was just off. It felt like a Bryce Dallas Howard episode where the actors said their lines too quickly with barely any emotion. The cinematography wasn't as good, and the story doesn't hit as well as other episodes. The set pieces felt like from a sitcom and not a Star Wars project, hence the Pair of Kings connection. You just need a laugh track in there. And to be fair on that, Bryce Dallas Howard's jab, those were her earlier episodes. The one in Boba was actually really good. I remember thinking TV shows were only bad when they were 20 episodes, like The Flash. And when you reduce the episode count, you could not only tighten the budget for a better visual design, but interesting episodes covering more plot, like Daredevil and Legend of Tomorrow, without any filler. Not sure if it's a matter of time to write scripts, or creative freedom, or simply talent slash skill. Like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is one of my favorite shows of all time, and that show was banging every episode. And every season just got better and better. Same thing with Supergirl. I went from not finishing the season 1 finale to actually being excited for the finale with Sam Witwer. I think that was season 4? Haven't watched season 5. So, I just saw the IMDb because I was curious. Leslie directed the first 2 episodes, which so far were the best. She does not direct any of the rest, which is a shame. 3 producers took part in writing for episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so far, 3 somewhat, but especially 4 fell off for me, so we'll see what happens. The third was directed by Kogonada, I hope I said that right, who will direct the penultimate episode as well. Content aside, I thought episode 3 was still well written, and maybe that was Jodie's acting that saved it, cause the kids were alright. The 4th and 5th episodes are directed by Alex Garcia Lopez, who did okay with the material he had. He actually directed that amazing Daredevil episode with the prison one take. Writers could be at blame for this one. Maybe next episode will have more content for him to explore. The dialogue just wasn't good so far for him. And there's a lady by the name of Hanelle M. Culpepper who will have 3 episodes, 2 after Alex's, and then she will deal with the finale. Shame Leslie couldn't direct the finale to her own show, but it happens. At least it's being written by the same crew from the premiere, so it could be as good. I forgot that a TV show is like multiple mini films as compared to movies, especially shows with a very limited amount of episodes like this one. Ultimately, this was a 5 out of 10 for me. Better episode this week felt like the prequels with the amount of sabers and fighters at once. We haven't seen a Sith fight this hard since the prequels, so I guess it makes sense it can fight so hard. I wonder how this will connect to Palpatine slash Plagueis. There has to be some connection there. Some stuff disappointed me, which I'll get to in a bit. Not much to say, as everything else is spoiler territory. So, man, why did Jackie and Yord have to die? I thought they were setting up a romance with Yord's shirtless scene, but I guess that could have been misdirection. Yord was also so cool and disciplined. So only Osha, May, and Sol know about the Sith guy, which his revelation wasn't really shocking, but he's really cool still. Not sure why he acted surprised Sol didn't remember him. Probably just because they saw each other before. I was kinda right in that May and Osha waxed and waned like the moon. May's on the good guy side, wearing Osha's white attire, and Osha is revealed to have a black undergarment, and is now with the Sith. Sol should have sensed the May, though, but I guess he's wrought with grief at the moment. Maybe it's just a Sith motif, but I swear I can hear Kylo Ren's theme when Kim is around. Why is that? Although Kylo's theme came from the last notes of Palpatine's, so it could just be that. What extraordinary beings we are, even in the revelation of our triumph, we see the depth of our despair. Not sure what he meant by this. Why would you be sad after realizing you've won? Very interested to see how this all plays out. Unfortunately, it's grueling watching the story unfold bits at a time each week. This is definitely a show made to be binged, or would have worked better as a movie. Mando worked so well because it had an exciting adventure for every episode. The score? Too little story, good action, 7 out of 10.